Lauren, you are a dating expert to some degree. I mean, you work with a lot of high-powered entrepreneurs. You know, you're considered a matchmaker. But can you talk to me a little bit about that? How did you get into the world of dating and relationships?
Well, I love people in general. I find them fascinating. And I work with, I am a matchmaker, but my journey here being 45, it's been a journey, decades of learnings, experience. I studied psychology, natural medicine, holistic counselling, and relationship counselling. But I was just a young girl interested in human behavior. I then went on and became a holistic health coach. So everything in my life I feel has a wellness aspect, has an holistic aspect, and it's not just one way. So I've brought that knowledge, plus being married, divorced, back on the dating scene myself, some experiences, positive and negative, into matchmaking.
Yes.
I've done this for a long time. Intrinsically and innately, it's in me to connect people, but now it's my full-time job and my career.
Yeah. And because you work with, majority of men that are exceptional, average men aren't going too well or doing too well in the dating scene. One in three men between the ages of 18 and 30 hasn't had sex in the last year. We're the most sexually liberated, and yet we are the most loneliest and depressed. Why do you think so many young men are sexless?
Well, first of all, I do work with high value men. That means not about money and status so much. It actually, to me, means entrepreneurial, successful at a certain stage in their life. I think men in general are suffering from social anxiety. I think they are turning to things like porn. I think they are disconnected from reality, and I think they are using the apps incorrectly.
Yeah.
So that is the result for the effort that they are putting out. I try and work with intentional men that want the real deal, because I personally am very old school and romantic, and I like love a fairy tale. I love a love story. That's my personality, and I guess I attract that.
Yeah. And what about women? You said you only predominantly work with men, but do you occasionally work with women as well?
Yes, I'd work with men and women.
Yeah.
My business has two types of memberships. There is a premium membership, and then there is a free database that you can go on my database and be a single and add yourself. But there is no guaranteed dates. If we work
Yeah.
together one-on-one, we have guaranteed dates. You are working with me coaching. I give advice. I lead and I facilitate a journey for you for a certain period of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I do feel that, you know, men are struggling though in general in 2025.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. 50% of men say that they're not looking for a committed relationship. Women especially too, they're in a predicament because women now are outperforming men both in education and employment. And because they're doing exceptionally well, men unfortunately have drastically fallen behind. And you touched on men are retreating from the dating and going into watching porn and video games. If I remember correctly, I think there was a report saying that an average man in the US spent over 2,000 hours playing video games and watching porn, either stoned or on prescription drugs. And I mean, that doesn't sound like a good prospect for a relationship.
I personally don't really work with men like that, but I do think that it's the same. Those things are the same as gambling, drinking, all types of escapism from
Yeah.
reality, because they are feared. They're fearing rejection. Women are rejecting more and more men. And, like I said, post COVID, people are struggling socially to
Yeah.
get out and about. We're still dealing with the ramifications of being locked down and being forced to find something to do all day instead of socialize.
Yes. Yeah. And it's
And there's proper agoraphobia, social anxiety. There are diseases that I study in my psychology course that are real. And for us, we don't suffer for them, but I do empathize with people because it's not easy, especially if you're introverted.
yeah. And, we are right now in the highest rates of sexlessness and loneliness ever amongst young people. You know, in our 4 million year history, we have large cohorts of both men and women who want relationships and can't get into them. Modern men are opting out of love altogether. But do you think the rules of commitment are broken?
I think they're being rewritten. I think the rules need to be rewritten and reevaluated and personalized. So you got to think about what are your rules and what do you want to abide by and what's the type of lifestyle that you want to conduct, and then find someone equal. If there are people on dating apps in 2025 saying, it's a hookup culture, it's an
Mm,
instant gratification. People are saying, hey, you sound great online, come over. And women are doing that. So there is no shortage of quantity. The quality is up to you.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think independence is rising in women and men, but intimacy and emotional intelligence are lacking.
Yeah. There's also evidence too, Lauren, to suggest that women are biologically wired to select sexual partners that are as competent or more competent than they are. So hypergamy, which is the phenomenon which I think very much right now is evident within women's selective process in the mating strategy. So, on average, women want to date a man that's as educated or as employed as they are. And as women climb up through their own hierarchy and competence, they further shorten down the pool of eligible men. So what happens is you have a large cohort of women all chasing the top percentile of men, and unfortunately, the guys at the top, the super high value guys, are commitment averse. They generally will be dating multiple women. Women, unfortunately, get used and heartbroken by these guys and then start leaning into their careers. So no one's fucking happy. But do you think also that because women are now excelling in education and employment, do you think they would start dating down? Would they start dating men that might make a little bit less money than they do? Or, what do you think might happen?
I'm meeting all different singles, but I think as women find more financial freedom, they want to be on the same page, equal, or men have more. I I have very few people that want to date down. That doesn't
Mm,
make any sense to people, to me. But I do believe that the TikTok trend, 6'4" finance and blue eyes, I
yeah.
mean, that is a thing. And the next generation is seriously thinking that that's only like 10% of the population, first of all.
Yeah.
And all women are asking for the same guy. And he doesn't exist, first of all.
Mm,
He doesn't exist. I have plenty of guys that 5'10". They're being overlooked because they're not 6 foot.
yeah.
Um, and I think women need to open up their wants and ditch the checklist, because 6'4" finance with blue eyes, I would care more if he had good values, foundations, ethics, morals, be a high value, honest human being than height. And I'm 5'11". So,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure why 5'2" girls are demanding that.
Yeah. Chris Williamson, who's a podcaster, he kind of uses this analogy that because women are becoming taller and taller, everyone knows a woman that's over 6 foot. If you're over 6 foot and you wear heels, you're stuck dating professional athletes because women want to date someone that's as competent or more competent. So generally, women are sort of filtering out height as
And
well
age.
and age too. Yeah. Do you think
So
all?
I really harp on about this because I feel age is irrelevant. I feel that I have 20-year-olds that act 50, and
Yes.
I have 70-year-olds that act 15. So I just don't get, I block out that noise, and I just really don't entertain it. Um, I do feel for girls that are 6 foot that wear heels, because that is a very small pool.
Yeah.
But if you're really serious and you want to have a baby and you want to get married, what's wrong with someone 6 foot and then you're the same height? It's very simple. I think people are making it way too complicated.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also too, social media has exacerbated it as well, Lauren.
Yeah.
I was talking to Syed Chesbra on the podcast, and he was telling me he knew two girls that slept with Chris Brown when he came to Australia. So we were in a global sexual marketplace, meaning that people have access to even A-list celebrities. Um, and I think that has kind of created a bit of a problem because of the paradox of choice. It's kind of like if you're logging onto Netflix, you don't know what the fuck you want to watch because there's so much
Choice.
choice. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, there's also this, instant gratification, and then this cancel culture. Like, as soon as you're not one thing on my list, I'm canceling you,
Mm,
swiping on you. You're useless. You're not worthy of my time. And I think people need to be more generous with their patient with their time, with their heart, and get to know people. And this whole dating thing, it has to be fun or it can't be successful. And really, it just needs to go back to stop being so serious, but also so rude. Like, why would you ghost someone? Why would you treat someone poorly? Would it feel good for someone to do that to you? Would you teach your daughter to accept that? Would you teach your son to behave like that? Very simple values.
yes. Do you
How that
feel
person,
do
how
you
that
feel
person was brought up affects their whole life.
that's right. Lauren, do you feel that we're measuring people more on external value as opposed to intrinsic value? As you mentioned, women, that TikTok trend, dating the guy in finance, 6 foot, blue eyes. We're not measuring people on who they are as a person. We're chasing this lifestyle. Do you feel that we're very much, our egos are so inflated that we are measuring people on extrinsic value and not intrinsic value?
I think it's really sad, and I do. I think that people need to lead with kindness, and everyone asks me for someone kind, but they're not acting kind themselves. And that's a big problem, because that word kind is being thrown around way too much. What does kind mean? And we really got to understand what that means. The word narcissist is being thrown around way too much. Everyone's a narcissist because they do something wrong. Um, but in saying that, I think that men are chasing watches and cars and getting a jet. And, does that make you happy? Does that
Mm,
really make you happy? And I'm all for being successful and living the best life, but at what cost?
that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And once you have that, what's the next thing? Um, I think for women, I think it's very important for women when they talk about dating someone successful is that they can provide security. And women are into being provided for.
Mm,
Not all women want to take a guy for a ride. Not all women are gold diggers. Not all women, they just want to know that they're not with someone that's gaming.
yeah.
Because, to be honest, my son's 10 and he's on that game, and the attitude that he gets from that game, it does something to your brain. It is 100% a negative outcome when my son plays a game. So we have very limited games, but all his friends are playing. And I don't want to bring up my child who's 10 to be sitting there and numb his feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. Lauren,
I mean, at the end of the day, women want to be with someone that gets up in the morning and is ambitious. If the things come, great. If the
yeah.
external things come, that's how I see things. Not all women are the same. Not all men are
Yes.
the same.
Yeah. We mentioned before too, Lauren, hypergamy. and women's tendency to date up and across. A lot of men too ask the question, who should pay on a date? Because women still make good money. Like if you have both people that earn really, really good money, a woman, say she earns a lot more money than the man, right? And she agrees to go on a date. There's this argument, okay, men should always pay regardless. I think there is some dispute about men are afraid of being taken advantage for. Um, and then women also still want men to show their traditional roles. What's your thoughts on who should pay on a date? Now, if it's something extravagant like a $500 dinner, I mean, me personally, I wouldn't take a girl out on a $500 dinner, but of course I'd take a girl out somewhere that I can afford, and I'm more than happy to pay. It's just that guys really worry about being taken advantage for. But what's your thoughts on who should pay on a
Okay.
date?
So as soon as I meet a guy, most guys say to me, I do not want to be treated like a bank. Fair enough.
Mm,
So I
yep,
am helping them sift through women that have their own, are independent, because it's equal then. I believe on a first date that the man should pay,
right.
maybe on the second, and even on the third. But if you're in a relationship, it is reciprocal. It is give and take, especially if the girl has equal amount or is financially free and independent. I'm not here for girls to be looked after, and I'm not a pimp.
Yep.
So I match people that are equally elite, but it's the principle of a first date. You are not going to pull out your wallet and split the bill. I also believe that all women are expensive. You've just got to find one that fits into your budget.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that you should overextend yourself. If you can't afford a $500 dinner, you can find lots of date options that are beautiful, romantic, loving, thoughtful, caring, genuine, that you can spend time together and get to know each other.
Mm,
But, no one's here for a free dinner. That doesn't work in my space.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
want to safeguard my guys. And I also want to sift through women that are there for the wrong reasons.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
like I said from the beginning, I'm very old school. I'm very romantic. I'm not going to split the rent or the mortgage with my partner.
Mm,
I'm
yeah.
not going to do that. But will we holiday together and share the cost? Will we? I don't know. You have to navigate that with who you're with. But I think using people is unacceptable. I'm not about it.
Yeah.
Emotionally, financially, physically, I'm just not into using.
Yeah. And a lot of men too, they do worry
They
about being
do.
taken advantage of.
They do. And
Yeah.
so they should. So they should. I back my guys because they've worked really hard. Um, do you know what the funny thing I've realized recently is that most guys that I work with want to meet a woman that is either entrepreneurial or has a purpose or gets up, does charity. No one, not a man, not a woman, really wants to be with someone that does nothing
Yeah.
because it's depressing, it's boring, it adds no value. Like people want to be inspired by others. And I think a good relationship is a power couple in any space, in any way. It doesn't have to be about money. But, my partner gets up at 5:30 every single morning and I see him put his suit on, and whether he's got money or not, that inspires me to go and do something. And I'm on
Yeah.
calls to New York and LA, and I'm working as well, and we push each other because that's our purpose. We want to teach our children good work values, and we enjoy what we do. That's the important thing in life, is find something that you love and that you can do 8 hours a day, and it's not about money.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of women too, Lauren, they worry about building a man up. So if a man's on his grind, he's highly ambitious, he's entrepreneurial, he's on the grind, and he's in a position where he's going to make it. A lot of women worry that he's just going to get up and leave them. And I speak to a lot of men. If you ask a lot of men that they had a woman with them from the ground up, no
Hmm.
fucking way are they going to
No,
let that woman go. And
no.
a great example for that is Alex Hormozy and Leah Hormozy. Leah Hormozy was in a position where Alex was about ready to lose it all. He was about to declare bankruptcy, but she stuck with him. Do you think a lot of women too are too equipped to just judge someone just by I think their character, because as we mentioned before, women are sort of measuring somebody on their extrinsic value, but how is he as a person? Is he ambitious? Is he kind? Is he compassionate? So do you think also women, I think, are measuring success in the wrong way?
I try and voice these things quite loudly, is that high value doesn't mean high net worth. High value doesn't mean wealth or status. High value means all those things that you just said, genuine, thoughtful, kind. Um, I think it's getting through to people, but elite to me means someone driven and someone motivated and someone inspirational and someone doing good work, like work that gets a good result. Um, Women have lost their way because everyone is quite obsessed with money. And uh, I think they're so driven to have their own as well now, which is a good thing. So then, I was a stay-at-home mom and I got divorced and I didn't even know how to do an internet transfer. I had no financial freedom or knowledge or education, and I had to teach myself, and it was so empowering. So I get that we feel good that we've learned it, and we are not stereotypic back in the 50s where we were just housewives.
Yeah.
But my matchmaking is really just coming together as a dynamic duo, a power couple together. That's
Yeah.
that's that's how I do my work.
Yeah. A lot of men too, Lauren, feel invisible and unseen. There was a report from, or a study in OKCupid that reported 80% of women find the majority of men unattractive. But why do you think so many good men feel unseen, and are high status men ruining the dating scene for everyone?
No, because I think everyone needs to run their own race and be the best version of themselves. I don't think anyone should look at that person's high this and high that, and I'm a loser. Work on your self-esteem. Um, Work on what makes you happy. And it's a magnet, it's an aura, it's an energy, and that's what you give off. I think people are seeing people are feeling unseen because they fear rejection, they're disillusioned. The modern dating world is disappointing and disheartening, but the bounce back is real. You got to get up, you got to do the things, you got to heal, you got to work on yourself, you got to put out to the universe all the things that you're great at and focus on them, and the ball will start rolling. But getting down and out and suffering is not the answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's easier said than done, but
It
I
is.
can say it because I've been there. And
Mm.
that's why I can empathize with all type of people in my business, because I was down and out. I was homeless. I had no car. I had two children. I was a single mother and I had $0 in my bank account.
Yeah.
Okay. So I totally get it. And I wrote a journal, and the person that I am now, 5 years later, to what I was writing about my feelings, it's a different person. Your life can change in 2 months, 3 months, 6 months if you do the work.
That's so true. Yeah.
You can't sit still and be mopey and hold a grudge on the world and be depressed because you're just going to keep getting that result.
Mm.
I'm just not, I'm not wired like that. So people might get frustrated, but I was born to survive.
Yeah. Lauren, what's one thing men are doing wrong, and what's one thing women are doing wrong?
Oh my God. What is men are, they're both judging too quickly. People are saying they're open-hearted and open-minded, and they're most certainly not. I think that they are writing enormous, long checklists of the things that they want and not actually behaving the way they want someone to treat them. Uh, it's not men or women. I can't decide. I can't distinguish both. I think they're both doing the wrong thing, and I think there's so much choice and the loneliness is levels that have never been before. People are lonely and disheartened, disappointed, but it's day by day. Every day, right foot, left foot, breathe, and just do something positive. Like I send my children off to school every single day and they have for years, and they roll their eyes now because I say the same thing every morning. At the end of the day, when I pick you up, I want you to tell me one thing that you did kind for someone else and the person that did something kind for you today. Because it's cliche to say, oh, you got to be grateful and we're so blessed, blah, blah, blah. That's falling on deaf ears now because we've said it for so long. Find another way to do something positive. And that means tell me what you did kind for someone today. Who did you assist? Who did you support? Who did who did you hang out with and make them feel good? And who was the person that did something nice for you? And if even adults did that, think of one thing that you're going to do nice for someone today, whether it's your mum or a stranger or a homeless person, just do it. And then it becomes a habit.
Yeah.
And
You
and sorry, and then
No, no, you go.
now my kids get to the car and they run to the car. Hey, mummy, mummy, guess what I did? I don't even ask them. That's just part of their daily routine. Listen to what happens today. They open up to you. They have great communication lines with their parent instead of just sitting on their phone and scrolling TikTok and getting depressed.
Yeah. What do you think men need to do to improve their dating prospects and vice versa? What can women do to help improve their dating life?
Well, I think that's a great question. And I think everyone needs to work on their dating life. And that is what I work with my clients. So we start from the bottom down. We work on what they look like. What are they wearing? How do their photos look? How do they present themselves? Don't hold a beer or a fish in a photo. Women are not interested in people. The drinking culture's out. Drinking is not cool. I don't care what anyone says. In 10 years, it's going to be looked upon like cigarettes.
Yep.
It's obvious. Um, so we work on I've got a beautiful photographer. We get my clients looking amazing, having photos that boosts their confidence, that boosts their self-esteem. And then we work on character, how do you present yourself? We have a men's guide. It's a free guide. I can send it to anyone that wants on how to come into this world and make a difference so that modern dating isn't difficult. I think women need to not be obsessed with height and age and income.
Mm.
Um, and that's really easy to say, but women are I think we've been conditioned by the media to just really, there's only one type of guy and he has to be tall and rich.
Yep.
And he's a loser if he's 5'8". He's a loser. And,
Yeah.
and he's not, because I know plenty of short kings that are divine, amazing fathers. Short kings are the winners.
Yeah, it's funny too, Lauren, because I know I'm a martial artist, and I know a lot of people that are my height or shorter, but
How tall are you?
I'm about 5'8", so
That's it.
I'm sort of average. I'm average height,
And how
but
manly are you? So manly.
thank you. Yeah, but I know a lot of short kings too, and women obviously they do prefer a guy taller than them. But as you mentioned, 6 foot is only a small percentage of the population, and
Very, very, very rare.
yeah, yeah, and it's interesting. Like it's because it's a survival strategy. Women generally want someone that they can feel protected and look up to. But I know some short people that are trained killers. They can protect you. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to be
100%.
tall. He can look after you.
But the majority of the population of women are 5'5". So
Yeah.
what's wrong with 5'8"? Like
Yeah.
I'm a small percent. I'm 5'11". It
Yep.
is a thing. I get it. I empathize and I try and help. But I have dated guys 5'10". I have. I went and I just never wore heels, and that was fine.
Yeah.
Um, I'm very, very open-minded though, and I'm very, very some people would say that I settle. I don't feel I settle. I feel that I get great results, and I got great results from being online dating. I'm now got a partner. He's 6'4". Is he perfect? Am I perfect? Definitely not.
Yeah. Yeah. The
It's a height. Like it's such a silly thing to talk about.
I
But
know.
yes, I understand feeling protected. You can feel protected by a 5'5" king.
Yeah.
I know the coolest 5'5". Quite a few, actually. I know quite a few.
Yeah. Well, Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse, who's a famous UFC fighter, he used to fight in the lightweight or flyweight. His wife is taller than him, and
Oh my God, look,
he's a
there's
professional
so
mixed martial
many.
artist.
I can think of so many celebrities, you know, Rosie Huntington. She's stunning and taller. It makes no difference if the guy's, confident, self-assured, uh, treats her like a queen. It's a good
Yeah.
dynamic.
Is that Jason Statham's wife?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
she's
They're my
taller than him.
favorite. Yeah. All the photos, and they're such a good couple.
Wow, there you go. Yeah, so ladies hearing this, it doesn't matter if he's a short king. Yeah. Yeah.
And the women, if I have a client that's 5'5" or 5'7" or whatever, a guy, and the women that are open-minded and say, yeah, I'll go on a date with him. He sounds great because of everything else. Oh, they're the women that I just respect. I
Yeah.
love. I find I want to help them more. They're open-minded. They're not just saying they're open-minded. I mean, a lot of people say they're open-minded and they are not. They are narrow and closed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to walk the walk.
Exactly. Yeah. There was a study that suggested that above 80% of women say that they want the man to make the first move, and a different study suggested that 50% of men are afraid of making a move on a woman for being seen as creepy. And this might have to do with the Me Too movement. So men are scared shitless because they don't want to be another Johnny Depp Amber Heard case. Women are also afraid of their safety. They're worried about being sexually assaulted or, God forbid, raped. And yet it's only a small cohort of men that do those atrocious things. It's one man doing 1,000 bad things to women, not 1,000 men doing one bad thing to women. So what can a guy do to confidently go up and approach a woman he likes without being seen as creepy?
Oh, so many things. I think that it's common sense. You're either a creep or not.
Yeah.
Um, but I think common sense. If a girl is sitting and on her computer at a cafe and she's working hard and don't approach her. If a girl is sitting at a cafe having a coffee, looking out the window, smile at her. See if she smiles back. Go slow steps, common sense. Don't disturb someone. If you're in the gym, don't be a creep when she's doing a hip thrust and come up to her at that time. If she's on the treadmill and you're next to her on the treadmill, just say like, "How's your day? Like, have you got much on today?" Very subtle, genuine. Don't go and pinch her ass. Don't
No.
touch anyone. My partner and I laugh because I'm pretty cool. But like one night he touched, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I got a fright. But like we were already familiar. Don't do that to a stranger.
No.
Um, common sense. I can't think of other examples. Simply smiling and getting her attention without being over the top. Um, And then see if she's open to, obviously check if she's wearing a ring. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and just generally don't be a creep. Don't ask something sexual. Don't ask something too forward. Just as a genuine hello, how are you? How's your day going? And if the conversation gets flowing, say, be honest. And what's the worst that can happen? To say, hey, I would love to take you for a drink. Are you open to that? Are you free next week? I know I'm a stranger, but could we potentially have a drink now so you could get to know me? And I think you're just gorgeous and you look lovely.
Yeah. And what about
It
women?
sounds so boring, but it
It
works.
works. And
I
what
go up
about
to
women?
guys all day long and women, and I just say, "Hey, how are you?" And I make friends. So I think the
Yeah.
key to life is just opening up your network and making friends.
And how can women be more receptive, Lauren? Because I talk to a lot of guys and they don't really have a lot of social cues that they can kind of understand because you kind of have to dumb it down for guys. Like one glance at a guy and then looking away just isn't going to fucking cut it. Like, guys are like, shit, is she looking at me? Is that a cue for me to go up and talk to her? Like for a guy to go from one end of the room to the other and go and approach a woman is extremely difficult. And back in the olden days, women used to drop a handkerchief
Yes.
and that was cue for a guy to go up and talk to them. Like, how can
Yes.
women be more inviting and open for a guy to approach them?
Hmm. Well, get off your phone
Yeah.
because stop taking photos with your girls at a dinner. Um, be open to your surroundings. I always, um, I don't know what girls are doing, but they're saying that no one comes up to them probably because they have resting bitch face.
Yes.
Resting bitch face doesn't make you approachable. So I always think be smiley, show your teeth, maybe, walk past his table at a restaurant and just give a little smirk. It's not hard to flirt. I don't know. Do you think it's hard for people to flirt? I find it quite easy.
I think flirting is an art. I think flirting is a skill that you have to learn how to do, because there can be something where you can flirt and it can be a little bit over the top.
Oh, yes.
Um, and I think
Yes.
also too, a lot of women, I think, leave this part out. They want a guy to flirt with them that they're already attracted to. And attraction is going to be the first thing. So women do want compassionate, kindness, empathetic, loyal.
They want game.
They
They
want
want game.
game, but
They
they
want
want
game.
those things from someone they're already attracted to.
I do believe, though, that for a lot of women, they become attracted physically through emotions. I
Yeah.
do believe that women are not obsessed with looks. I think men really want it hot. I think you have to look pretty hot to get a guy's attention. It has to be instant. It has to be some sort of spark and chemistry, and then it grows. I think the reverse for women. I
Yeah.
personally would never have swiped a photo online of my ex-husband or my partner or my ex-boyfriend. I've had 3 relationships,
Mm.
and none of them would make me swipe a photo. What got me was that they were impressive in other ways.
Isn't that
They
interesting?
very, and I'm not into. I have very few girls say to me, I have to have a six pack. They've got to be like hot, hot, hot. Not many girls speak like that these days.
Yeah. So how can a guy emotionally stimulate a woman's psyche? So if women are emotional, how does someone, and obviously these are skills that they have to acquire,
I
over
think they've
years
either
and
got
years.
innately game or not. I think a lot
Yeah.
of guys have, and the ones that don't have to work on it, and it's not unachievable. That's what I do. I actually do that. I help guys work on their game.
Yeah.
And I also think work on your confidence. It comes from the inside, it comes from your mindset. Mindset is so powerful. How you believe, how you create your life, how you come across your energy. I think that guys need to walk the walk and stop with the words and put lots of effort into actions.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. And what ab
Actions.
and
And
what
gauge the girl what she's into, like what would impress this girl, because everyone's individual. So you have to think. It's not
mm,
one way fits all.
yes. And what about dating apps, Lauren? Dating apps haven't been too successful. I think if I remember correctly, Bumble's stock prices just plummeted.
Yes.
People are
Mm.
now sort of fed up with the apps. And if dating apps aren't helping us connect, what else is really keeping us apart?
Well, what was going to keep us and make us so connected has actually done the opposite. So people are more and more feeling disillusioned and hurt. People are sitting online hurting other people. Um, People are rejecting people for absolutely crazy nonsense excuses. What what can I tell you? I continue to say that I think that apps can work really well
Yep.
if you are savvy, if you are clever, if you have a high emotional intelligence. I think you can get a great result. I personally sat on them in 2018. I made so many friends. I had such a great experience because I'm open, I'm friendly, I'm extroverted. I think that some of the guys that are my clients and I have matched from Bumble, I met on Bumble. We didn't have a romantic connection, but they became my best friends.
Mm,
And I had a great result. But in saying that, it's 2025. They are not the same as when I was on there because I do a lot of market research and I am on the apps now and then for fun, or I look at my friends and stuff, and it is not the same. The world has
yeah.
changed. Modern dating, 100% not what it used to be in 2018. So I think you need to spend, it's a full time job. Swipe, 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 swipe. And it's a numbers game. and I don't think you get a very good result.
Yeah. Did
That
you
the,
hear?
the the effort equals the results not working.
Yeah. Did you hear about that guy that swiped, I think, over 2 million times in his whole entire 5-year duration
I
on
posted
Tinder?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that? He swiped over 2 million times and he only got one coffee date. Is that right?
I think two. And then out of that two coffee date, you have to have some sort of spark, attraction, and chemistry. The numbers don't add
Yeah.
up. And if you're a high value human that is looking after children or a single dad or have a business, run a company, do charity, whatever you do, there is no way you're sitting online talking to strangers for hours on end because they're dead end chats and they are not getting you the coffee. It takes so much work to sit online and get one coffee. It is dead. Like you can swipe a girl and she might not answer you or match you for 3 days. And then you've invested, you think you've built in your head that she's the dream girl. She treats you like dirt. She's
Mm.
got 85 guys messaging her. You're just one of many. And it's just so much choice and based on a photo and a little bio. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like another language. It's like aliens.
Yeah, and they have been terrible, haven't they, dating apps? Like, a lot of people have really struggled on the apps, especially guys. They just feel invisible.
Well, once again, it's emphasizing this fear of rejection because they're not really getting rejected, but they feel it.
Yeah.
And women, I think there's so much choice. And unless you're fitting into that 1%, I'm not even going to talk to you.
Yep.
You know, I was on the apps when I jumped on to see if my ex-boyfriend was on after 2 days after breaking up with me. And he was there. And I got in 20 minutes, like 95 something. I don't even know how they work anymore, but 95 men message me to meet me. Like they just go straight in because they don't want to waste time chatting about the weather. I get it. But
Yeah.
women are frightened. It's like, who are you? And what are you talking about? So
Yeah.
it's just such a disconnect and it's so disappointing. And yeah, you'd have to spend a lot of time on there to get a great result.
Yeah.
I
And
think
also
people are time poor.
yeah, that's right. And also too, Lauren, like charisma, charm, kindness, compassion, generosity, in that they can't be shown on an app. You know, you
And people are swiping charisma over character.
Yeah. Yeah.
At what seems to be a charismatic, good photo is not really indicative of who they are.
Yep.
And that's what I mean about, so for instance, my partner's gorgeous and I absolutely adore him and love him. I'm not being rude, but who he is and what he does and his energy and what he brings to my family and the dynamics of our relationship, it could not be displayed in a photo or a bio. It's impossible.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
impresses me in so many ways. And in saying that, I have to add that my photo is not indicative of who I am. What would a guy know about me by my photo? I'm so much more than my photo. I'm educated. I'm a mother. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I have a heart. I run a business. Like I couldn't write that in a bio.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
look like a dumb blonde.
There was a study, Lauren, that forecasts 45% of prime working age women between the ages of 25 and 44 will be single and childless by the year 2030. Right now, 50% of women are childless at the age of 30. More and more women are leaning into their careers. And you're a mum, you understand that, raising your son and daughter into this whole new dating experience is going to be quite challenging. And there's a corner of the world also, Lauren, where women will chastise motherhood as being a mum is like a second class citizen. And we also now have a declining birth rate. We are below replacement. Korea right now has the lowest birth rate in the world. A couple of years ago, Japan went down by 600,000 people. And I think also women, they do want family, they do want children, but what's your thoughts on the increase in, you know, depression and loneliness, especially women as they age? You know, what would you suggest women need to do in order to focus on their career, but at the same time be mindful that they might want to have kids one day? What's your advice to them?
Well, unfortunately, I believe that biological clocks are ticking, and the media and the world have tricked us to be career focused. If you're a career woman and you're listening to this, I'm going to irritate you basically, because I believe motherhood is a gift. Not everyone gets that privilege, and I don't think it's a I don't think we should be gambling with it. And I think a lot of women are gambling and waiting and building a life and building a career, which is fantastic. I couldn't encourage that more. But I have a daughter who's 15, and I've already told her, your childbearing years are in your 20s. We don't wait till you're 30 and risk the chance of not having a baby. Because if you know that you want to be a mother, you need to be intentional from the time, in that 20s decade. I was fortunate that I knew I wanted to be a mother. That was my goal. It wasn't getting an MBA. It wasn't working a corporate job and climbing the ladder. That wasn't for me. And I'm allowed to say that. Unfortunately, people get very upset about it. I now am 45 with grown children, and I can work. I can grow my company. I run an international global matchmaking agency. I can work 24/7 if I want, but I spent those years attached to my children, affectionate, there for them physically, emotionally, spiritually when they needed me. They
Yeah.
don't need me as much now. I, I I want women to not be fooled that they can freeze their eggs and it's all going to be okay. It's not. And career focus is amazing, but there is a time for that depending on what your time is. My time was my 20s because that was my goal, and I achieved it. I did get divorced. That wasn't part of the plan, but that was my journey, and it's brought to me to an amazing place. Like, I couldn't be prouder of my children, and they can now watch me work.
Yeah.
I think this whole IVF thing, and as a security blanket, no,
Yeah.
no, it's a great tool. I have a client that's 36, and she came to me, and I matched her. She didn't find love. She is now pregnant at 37 because I said to her, I want you to go and have a baby. I know how much, and you've got desperation on your forehead. It's not working for you. Go and have the baby. At 38, call me. Not only will I babysit for you, I'm going to find you your guy. He's going to
Yeah.
love you and your baby as a package. Don't miss out on what you want so badly. And unfortunately, that's the modern day life. That's what it is.
Yeah. Do you think also too, Lauren, feminism has lied to women, suggesting that their career was more important than raising a family and having children?
100%, unfortunately. And I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. I love my girlfriends. I'm very much into women. I love sisterhood, but I'm also old school. Like, we are here to make babies. We are You can be a working mother and still have children, but I know so many children that are neglected. They are dropped off at daycare at 6 weeks because they are forced to work. I believe in being a stay-at-home mum. That
Yeah.
Find the job that you can do it all. Uh I feel sorry for children that have not had a present mother.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm better than anyone and I deserve a medal, but I lived what I believed, and I created and manifested exactly what I want. And in saying that, I didn't have money. I couldn't go on overseas trips. I couldn't provide extravagant things for my children, but what they needed was me, and they got all of me.
And a lot of women too, Lauren, worry about just being a mum and
Well,
not having a
it's not
career.
glorified. Like they
Yeah.
don't think that being a stay-at-home mum is a good enough job. And I did question it, and I doubted myself sometimes, and people were like, "Go back to work. Why are you staying at home with your children?" Well, first of all, I had a 2-year-old when I was a single mother. To pay a nanny or a childcare centre so I could work didn't make sense because I
Mm.
wanted to bring up my children. So yes, I did go without things because I chose to be a stay-at-home mom, but I got judged, I got criticised, I got told that I wasn't enough, I got told that I was a loser and that I should be doing more. What is more than bringing up your children with love and affection and presence? I think that is the greatest gift.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, Lauren. I think there's a lot of women out there that do want children. They wanna have a career as well. And the fact is too now, because we are in a society that's hyperinflated, meaning that everything is just so damn expensive, you need both people to work to raise a family. Um, and as women have entered the workforce, which is amazing, taxes
Amazing.
become higher.
Amazing.
Yeah, taxes
But
unfortunately
we've
become
chased
higher.
equality. We're trying to, we've chased equality, but at what
Mm,
cost? At what cost that we think that motherhood is doing less? It's the hardest job in the world with not much reward, not money, that's for sure. But the reward is the cuddles I got every day and that my children are safe and that they know that I sacrificed.
yeah,
That beats money for me.
yeah. And you know what too, Lauren? I don't know if you're familiar, but the stats are just alarming. If you look at all the tragic mass shootings that happen in
Mm.
America, if you look at the kids that shoot up the schools, they come from broken homes where the father generally isn't present too. Because if I remember correctly, the mother's love is more the nurturing love, and the father's love is more the disciplinarian love. You need both people to raise a family. Um, for
Can I say
advice,
something?
yeah, go for it.
I truly believe that you only need one good parent. I know I say that because that's my situation. I think that you can thrive and strive and succeed if you have a very solid mother or father. I think that you can have a broken home and have an absent father, and yes, the children do not thrive. But if you have a broken home and you come from a single parent and the other parent is present, calls every day, goes to the parent teacher interviews, is involved, visits every weekend, whether it's their time or not, and doesn't just abide by consent orders, which is 48 hours a fortnight, the children are going to thrive. But if the children miss you, feel your absence, don't feel supported, don't feel loved and cared for, you're going to suffer. There's going to be what's the word? Backlash. Like the kids are going to act badly,
Yeah,
100%. But I think you can still come from a broken home and have two present parents, just
yeah,
living in separate houses. I also believe that there are plenty of nuclear families that have a mother and father at home, and the children are absolute rat bags.
yeah, yeah. That is
So,
true.
so I don't like because I am a single mum. I'm sensitive to the stigma. I was brought up by a single mum. My sister, my brother, and I had a pretty tough upbringing with a difficult divorce. We're all great. We're all great um, because we worked and we healed, and probably made us stronger because my sister, my brother, and my mum and I are a super tough team.
Yeah,
It made us very, very unformidable, unbreakable, formidable. Yes. Uh, um, I would have preferred to have stayed married and have a nuclear family because that's what I craved coming from a broken home. It didn't work out, but my kids learnt resilience. My kids do definitely go through certain things, and it is a challenge with their father, but I got them.
yeah,
They got me. They'll be fine.
yeah. And speaking of childlessness as well, Lauren, um, I think right now there is a lot of men that probably at some stage will want to have a family and have a relationship and settle down. And I think I've heard Chris Williamson speak about this. He speaks about the male sedation hypothesis. And the reason why I think, and just historically, non partnered childless men in society tends to be the most unstable. Men who don't have a reason to behave will commit violent crimes, have a lack of purpose, and then be able to contribute meaningfully to society. And I think, men are being sedated, they're retreating to porn, they're, playing video games as well. I do worry as well, Lauren, that women and men are very combative towards one another, where they're very argumentative, especially online. I just hear about all the
Oh
nasty
my God,
things.
it's
Have you
crazy.
heard about all the nasty comments
I
that
just
men
can't
and women?
believe someone sits behind a computer screen and types such awful things about other human beings, someone's son and someone's daughter. Like the audacity to just think that you're safe because you're behind a screen.
Yep.
TikTok's insane. I don't even engage. It's just water off a duck's back. But I've read there is a group on Facebook, Sis, is this your man? It gives women the ability to write whatever they want about a guy that potentially didn't do what they wanted. Women are angry at me because I don't believe it. I think the group is just like this. You're speaking about someone's son
Yeah.
because he's a narcissist because what? He's a narcissist because he didn't call you back or he ghosted you. That's poor behavior. No one's saying that is okay, but he's not a narcissist. I studied narcissism. I studied counselling. It's not the definition of narcissism. Um, and I get that women support women. I think it's beautiful. I support women, but you can't just write things online. They are an employee. They work for someone. That is their career. That is their income. That is the way. Luckily, on this group, I've never seen one client, but I do read it and just think, whew, you're angry, you're bitter, you're twisted, and you need to work on yourself,
Yeah. Yeah. Do you
girl.
do you ever remember the guy Kevin Samuels? He passed away a few years ago. He famously said single women keep each other single. In other words, they give each other terrible advice. Emotions fluctuate, Lauren. They change. They go up, they go down. And if you look at most divorces, they're initiated by women. I think above 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. My uncle right now is going through a terrible divorce. He has to pay his ex-wife $4 million in alimony.
Wow.
Yeah.
I should have
And
married him. I'm joking.
yeah,
I did not. I told you, I ended up without a home, without a car. Wow. I'm probably the only woman that I don't know how this happened to me, but it was meant to be.
yeah.
I think all of this stuff is when you were talking about the gaming and all the other like sitting behind online, and
Mm,
that is a defense mechanism, that is a coping mechanism, and that is not the definition of kind. So
no.
I'm reading and I'm seeing what people, and I can see some people that I know and some familiar faces, and I'm like, ooh, like you are not kind.
Mm,
You
yeah,
are not kind. So don't ask me for a kind guy because you are not acting kind.
yeah. And do you think also women Um, they sometimes can become impulsive because of emotions. They're very quick to just end things because things might get a bit tough or a bit hard. What would your advice be to women out there that might be in a relationship, but then are thinking about doing the bolt, and then maybe later on they do it, and then they might regret it? You're seeing a lot more TikTok videos of women crying in their cars because they ended their divorce. What would your advice be to these women that are a little bit impulsive and thinking about just calling it quits?
I think they need to work on their hormones.
Mm,
So hormones play a big part in things, and I think that they need to work on building a life for themselves and not. I think hurt people hurt people.
yeah,
If you want a divorce and you have tried everything and there is no other option, it's not the end of the world. People get divorced. You're not compatible. You've outgrown each other. You want to go a different direction. I think it's okay. But it's the way you approach things. I think divorce is the fastest track to bankruptcy, I heard.
yeah, it is.
So
It's a
for men
$50
and
billion
women.
dollar industry.
So yeah, it comes at a lot of costs, children's well-being, emotional well-being. Um, I speak to a lot of men that are broken, broken. They are absolutely broken financially. They need to rebuild. Um, and I feel sorry for them.
Yeah. You know, men are
But
8 times more likely to take their own life following a divorce.
I can see, and I speak to these guys and they are struggling emotionally, but they're not in a place to date. So we work on, getting them right.
Mm,
Getting them right. And when your life is full and rich and happiness is surrounded by you, you're ready to date.
yeah.
But there's no reason to date when you're going through those motions.
There's a corner online, Lauren, tells men to never be vulnerable, never open up to a woman because she'll use it against you, weaponize it against you. And right now, men are in a little bit of a crisis. Society says to be open and vulnerable, and when they do, they get shut down. And there's been a lot of stories where men have been in a romantic relationship with a woman. They've opened up to her, maybe even shed a tear and cried. And then she's used that and weaponized it against him in a future argument.
I think
What?
that goes both ways.
Yeah.
It's a character. If you're able to do that, that's part of your character. I hope people aren't doing that, but apparently, obviously, they are. Um, it's just a very unusual behavior to me.
Yeah.
I don't. I think people need more empathy. That is so unfamiliar to me. I'm such a deep empath. Like if someone told me something vulnerable, not only would I not repeat it, I would console them. I would offer love and my heart to them. But yeah, some people are just not like that. You're just not built like that, and you've got to sift through life and decipher who earns your heart, who gets access to you, and have a high self-respect, high self-worth before you open up. Don't just open up to anyone. That's
Mm.
that's not normal. And you got to really work out who your people are, who your tribe are, and show me your friends, and I'll show you your future.
Has a man ever cried in front of you?
Absolutely.
How did you respond?
Um, I cried with him. I cried with him. And, that was actually my ex-husband when he told me something before we got married. And it was a big thing. He opened up and was honest about something. And I could have gone two ways. I could have just broken up with him then and chosen a different path, but I backed him. I loved him no matter what. And I supported him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did that get thrown in my face? Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah. But a lot
You got to
of
love the right people, and you got to love the people that deserve your love, and you've got to love yourself in order to demand the right type of love,
yeah. And women that are listening
and
to
and not be a
this,
pick me. Because to be
yeah.
honest, I wanted to be chosen. That's why I supported him.
Yeah.
I wanted to be chosen by him, and I was a pick me.
And if women are listening to this, Lauren, what would be your advice to them on how they can create a safe space for their man to open up? And when I mean open up, it's serious. Like maybe there's a death in the family, he sheds a tear. For those women out there that need to understand that it goes both ways in a relationship, and men are really starving for that. They want to open up to their partner. They want to open up to their romantic partner. Um, Now,
It's
I'm
it.
not saying crying like a little baby every day. I'm talking about something serious and your man cries in front of you. How can women hold that space for their man?
I don't know many women that wouldn't embrace their person if they love them and support them. I think most women are empathetic and loving. I have a partner right now who's the opposite of a crier. So he's never cried. We've been together for 4 years. I wish he would cry.
Mm,
So he was taught as a young boy, crying is not for men, and
yeah.
that is his generation. He was born in 1969. That was the generation that no, you toughen up and you do not cry, and that is the way he operates, and I respect that. I respect whatever that person feels comfortable with. If he cried to me, I would hug him, I would console him, and I would say, let's fix it together. Whatever it is, you've got me. That's my personality because he's my partner. And it is the woman behind the man. And that is what I would expect of him. I was loved so hard by a mother and nurtured so well and so emotionally intelligent that I'm capable of that. But I don't believe that if you weren't brought up like that, you can give that. I don't think you can provide nurturing unless you've been nurtured.
Yeah. Do you think
That's
that
why motherhood is so important because we are bringing up the next generation.
so true? Yeah.
My
And I
kids know
think
how to love.
I think, Lauren, it's a man's job to protect a woman physically, and I think it's a woman's job to protect a man emotionally. What do you think of that?
Well, I talk a lot about that. And we want to be adored. Women want to be adored. Men want to be admired. So it's a reciprocal give and take relationship, and it can work beautifully if you have each other's backs.
Yeah.
But it's not just take, take, take. And there's a lot of people that are takers and, work out, is this person a giver? And I'm not talking about materialistic things. I'm talking about a listening ear, a generous heart, a generous spirit, a thoughtful person. I can give you a million examples of my partner is a provider with a generous heart.
Yeah.
He thinks about my children. He thinks about my feelings. I think about how he is. He calls me every day at 12 o'clock to say how my day is. It's just a give and take relationship. But I've been with guys that are the opposite. They want me to cook and clean and have the wife attributes, but I'm just like, I'm easy come, easy go to them. And you can love the wrong person and give the wrong person. And that is where self-esteem and self-respect comes in.
Yeah. It is a two-way street in
Definitely.
relationships.
Even
Yeah.
with girlfriends, like I'm not giving a girlfriend one thing unless they show me they're there and they're supportive. And that is how we respect and trust each other. It goes for friendships. It goes for family.
Mm. There was a TikTok
It's a
video, Lauren.
holistic approach,
Yeah.
holistic. And that's the whole thing is it's not just one way. You got to look at the whole part.
Yeah. There was a TikTok video that went viral, Lauren, of a man that received a bouquet of red roses for Valentine's Day. And I think men are starving of appreciation. I can think of, uh, you know, countless gifts that one of my friends has received, who's a woman, and then I talk with a lot of other men that can't really count on one hand how many gifts they've received from a woman. Um, do you think that also women can show a little bit more appreciation and vice versa? Men, obviously, I think men need to show more respect towards women, but women, I think, too, can help in showing more appreciation.
It's just so simple to say thank you. Let's start with a thank you. A lot of people aren't even being verbally grateful.
Mm,
So appreciation starts with expressing it and communicating that you are grateful and that you are thankful for certain things. I think there are a lot of girls that go over and above and give a lot, like girls filling up men's fridges, changing the bed sheets, going over and above, but they're not the girlfriend. They're just a pick me. Don't do that yet. Don't give wife privileges when you're a girlfriend. Just take it slow, and dating is a natural progression. You can't make someone love you by giving them things. You've got to get to know each other and then slowly incorporate being generous. But give a generous heart, be generous with your soul, with your patience, with your openness. And then all the other stuff follows. Like, how could you're compelled to give someone that you love. I can't go on a birthday or an anniversary and not give my partner something because I am grateful and thankful, and that's the day to express it. And
yeah,
he's not like Father's Day. He's not my father. He's not my kid's father. But on Father's Day, he's going to get spoiled
yeah,
because he's a father.
yeah.
Like just little things.
And it's interesting too, Lauren. What does a man want to do more of when he's feeling appreciated?
He wants to give more.
Exactly.
It's reciprocal. And
Yeah.
people don't understand that. But like a guy that gives a girl a new handbag or buys her things and she's just expectant of the next thing, so disheartening and such a user mentality and so disposable. And Um, it just creates like this chaos that you don't want. You want balance, harmony, peace, and all the things will come.
Yeah. And what about long-term relationship? How do couples maintain long-lasting relationships if we're seeing high rates of divorce and loneliness and, a breakdown of the family unit? How can we maintain lasting relationship?
Well, when you get married, it's a commitment. And if you're not in for that long haul commitment, it's not going to work. So I talk openly, I've spoken about it before. Marriage and long term relationships take 3 C's: commitment, communication, and care. And if you get those three throughout your relationship working for you in a positive manner, it's bulletproof because when you commit to someone, they will annoy you. You're committed to them no matter what. Communication, you must always talk about your needs, your wants, communicate how you're feeling, and then care. Like you genuinely care about that person and worry about how they're going, how they're traveling. Not everyone's going to have a good day, so care about them on the days that they need extra care and lift each other. Um, Divorce, I'm not one for divorce. I would have stayed married. I would have been physically abused or whatever. I don't know what, because I wanted a family unit for my children. That's extreme.
Yeah.
Um, I believe that I'm a very committed person. And when I say I'm doing something, I'm going to do it. So it comes back down to how you've been brought up as well and your character and what you're about. I don't like quitting.
No.
So I'm not a quitter and I don't like failing. That's my personality. Depends who you are. If you're frivolous and lapsadaisy and not there for the long haul, don't get married.
Mm.
It's no big deal. Don't get married.
Yeah.
What do you
The
think?
It's interesting. I think women do an exceptional job at maintaining close relationships and sticking with their friends. And if I remember correctly, the stats show that in the 90s, the number of friends a man would report having was around 6. Now that number is 0. What would be your advice to couples to sort of integrate socializing, because generally women are very good with that. They organize picnics and parties and
Yeah,
gatherings and
they're
things
the
like that.
social organizer
They're
of
the
the
social
marriage.
organizers, and a lot of men forget to keep in touch with their close friends. Like, I'm very lucky. I have friends of mine that I've known for over 20 years. We
Yeah.
we 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 grew up at school. Like, at least once a year, I'll have 20 of my mates come round for a barbecue. But men aren't very good at that. They're not very good at keeping their close relationships. But what would your advice be to couples out there to maintain relationships and have a more positive outlook on life?
I think couples that have other couples with shared values and shared hobbies works. Um, I have uh, males and friends that enjoy going to the gym together or do saunas together, like guys that play tennis together. And there's just depending on what you like, you attract and you're a magnet for the people that have the same likes. Um, Couples, often lots of couples like to drink together and they go to the pub. That's their thing. They like to let off some steam on a Saturday afternoon and sit around and drink and watch sport. That's some women are up for that. That's not a high quality of life for me. My partner and I have friends like, so his friends are in business with him because that's their common thing, and I'm friends with the wives, and it works well.
Yep.
Um, there are guys that have friends from uni. They have like you said, once a year they have a Christmas lunch. It's fun. They get together. They're larrikins. They let off some steam. It's fun.
Yeah.
Uh, I like to surround myself with people that are like-minded. I'm into wellness and health. So I surround myself with women that like the same things.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it just so happens that it's organically a mesh. We mesh well together.
Yep. What about dating? What are some fun dating ideas that men could think of when courting a woman? And going back to um, men obviously worrying about being taken advantage of and whether or not they should pay the bill. If it's a coffee, pay for the fucking bill. And in my experience, I think there are things you can do freely. A walk is free.
100%, but
Go to
like
the beach
like
is free. But what would be
I have
some good
guys
dating
taking
ideas?
girls, that they both like golf. Go and do a round of golf. Hit balls at the driving range. It's always fun. Like a lot of girls are really sporty and into that thing. Like not
Yep.
everyone wants to sit at a stiff dinner opposite someone and have an interview. I get that. That's not that fun. But work out what your date likes. Um, if you like to play tennis, if you like to go bowling, if you like rock climbing, there are so many things that you can do. I think it's hard on a walk to find a spark. I do. And I think it's hard, even when you're at a restaurant, I often say to couples, like, sit on a banquette and sit next to each other so you feel a bit of electric, physical, as opposed to sitting opposite someone and how many kids have you got? What do you do for work? Like, that's boring. That's a bit boring. But it also is necessary because you're trying to get to know someone. So the first date can sometimes be a bit stiff, but then you go into the second one, make it fun, work out what you both like. There's a reason that I match people because they're actually compatible. So often they like the same things. I've
Yes.
got lots of couples that like skiing. They end up going on ski trips. I have lots of couples that, um, yeah, what else? Like love the beach. They'll go to that we've got a place in Melbourne called Urban Surf. Urban Surf is like this makeshift surfing. So like I've had couples do fun things.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like no makeup, no hair, natural, raw, cool, fun. There's lots to do. There's no it's there's no limit. But
Yeah.
it's hard to get on that date from online, right? So there's got to be ways to get on those dates.
Yeah.
Um,
Would you say that men and women should get off the apps and try and date in the real world, or would you suggest do both?
I think there's no problem being online. And people are not going to like this. I believe the apps you lose currency. If I
Right.
was single, I wouldn't be on an app
Okay.
because I'm a high value woman and I'm busy and I most certainly am not swiping you because of how you look. You want to come up to me in a cafe and say, "Hey, how you going?" I will be all ears. I will
Mm.
be all ears and I'll be like, "Oh, hi," because I like friendly people. I'm friendly. Um, I think it's just a bit cringe. I think the apps just are really daggy and really uncool.
They're quite
Um, be-
shallow, aren't they? Because it's all a appearance look.
it's just so not my vibe. I just and like event. Just say I met someone. Oh my god, he's the guy. People are going to say, "Oh, how did you meet?" "Oh, I met on Hinge." That's not for me.
Yeah.
That's not for me.
It's not an exciting
Um,
story, is it?
it's just like, oh, how did you begin? And the beauty about my relationship and coaching and my matchmaking is that when people do get together for a year or two and it is a good match, they are proud to say, "Hey, we met through my friend Lauren," because I am their friend and I met through, it's a familiar name, it's a familiar person. And that's how I built my business is that it is familiar. And so they're proud to say, "Oh, my friend Lauren's the matchmaker. She introduced us because we're compatible." It's
Yeah.
just got a better feel to it.
Yeah. Lauren, do you worry about the birth rate? Because I worry about it. I think that right now we are in a position where we might just depopulate. It's going to be something like out of The Walking Dead. And Korea might go extinct if men and women aren't producing enough kids. What's going to happen? I mean, because now what's happening is people have the argument that the Earth's overpopulated. We have 8 billion people in the world. It's just that we're living longer. We have an aging population. Do you worry about the birth rate?
I do because I have children and I think about their future. If I
Yeah.
didn't have children, I probably wouldn't as much. But I have trained and taught my children that it is the best thing in the world to have a child, and I've expressed how important it is and how much I can't wait to be a grandmother. So I said, and I, I think the longer you wait, the smaller the dating pool, which then affects if you're going to be a parent, right? And the dating pool is very small. Um, I worry, but you know, motherhood and fatherhood is not for everyone. It's
No.
your choice. It's your choice. Like it's my choice. It's my choice to do what I want. You stay in your lane, and that's how, I don't worry about it generally. I just want the best for the people that want what they want.
Yeah. There was a documentary, Lauren, called Birth Gap. Um, I watched that documentary and it's very, very alarming, but also it's quite sad too. Um, you
I feel, I
have,
feel,
yeah,
I feel sorry for women because their biological clocks are a thing. And if you
it's
don't
ticking.
tune in and listen to your body, you're going to miss out on a beautiful experience.
Yeah. There's there's about 10% of women that are physiologically incapable of having children. There's about 10% of women that just don't want children, but then that leaves a whopping 80% of women that do want children. And there was a meta-analysis by Dr. Rinska Kaiser, and above 80% of women, before their fertility window had closed, did not intend to not have children. So, in other words, involuntary childlessness happened. And these women now have support groups. They go to these support groups and they come together to grieve for the families that they never had.
This makes
And
me very sad.
it's so damn sad that you can actually grieve for something that didn't exist. And that's touching on back what you said, that you said that women need to really date with intention. They need to actually start looking in their early 20s. Um,
I
yeah,
posted something, I shared something the other day about, how important your dating in your 20s are. And because I know this because I have thousands of women that are 35 and panicking. Okay. That's why I do this. And that is why I emphasize the importance of thinking about your biological clock in your 20s and what you're actually looking for. So then you can achieve it. Um, so I posted something and I got this woman say to me, "That is so offensive. You are so this and this and this." And I was like, she ended up explaining that she couldn't find her guy, the right one, until she was mid-30s, and it's not her fault. And I didn't mean it like it was her fault. I have clients that I've set up that are 38, met the guy of their dream, the right one, had a baby at 40, had another baby at 42, and it's all good. There are great results sometimes, but why risk it?
mm,
Why risk it? Go on lots of dates, especially if I call you with a potential guy, and if that's something that you want. Don't tell me that he doesn't make enough money. Don't tell me that he's too short, and don't tell me that he's not the right age or he's too old, because you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out. You know why you're going to miss out? Because there's a very small dating pool. I'm giving you a great guy that is intentional, that is successful, that is entrepreneurial, that wants to find a wife and a mother to his children, and you're saying no to me. So it frustrates me as a matchmaker because you're going to call me in 10 years and say, okay, now I'll go out with the short one. It's
yeah,
too late. You missed out, and I don't want you to miss out. I feel very, very sad for women that missed out. I don't know how to. The only thing I can empathize with is that I did want more children and I only had two. And I know that sounds selfish, but I had a miscarriage. I would have liked three or four. And my forever regret is I didn't start earlier, and I
yeah,
started in my 20s.
yeah,
So, so, I can empathize that desperation for a
yeah,
child. I didn't want two, I wanted four.
yeah. Jordan Peterson said that there's a 50% chance of women ever having children after 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these 20-year-olds are out doing stupid things and not working out what they actually want.
Yeah. And I have heard that it's scientific, that women, I think, after the age of 30, there's a huge percentage of their eggs that are gone. That's why it's incredibly difficult to conceive. And that's why women are turning to egg freezing and IVF. And IVF is extremely expensive, but there's no guarantee. Yeah.
No guarantee, and it's not a safety net anymore because even if you freeze your eggs, what quality are the eggs? Who are you going to have the baby on your own because you still haven't met someone?
Yep.
It's not straightforward anymore. So, you know, work out if career is more important to you.
Yeah.
Work out if meeting the right one and he has to be perfect is more important to you. Um, what was most important to me was that I actually had children and I chose someone that I loved and I had what I had, but I ended up with a divorce. So nothing's perfect. Ride the waves.
How are you going to help
Thank God.
your son and daughter navigate their way through dating? And do you think that we also should teach this in school because we're not taught how to date?
I think we should be taught in school how to be kind instead of
Mm,
algebra.
yes.
I think we should be taught what kind really means and to work on your emotions and processing things and not internalizing them. Because I think a lot of kids internalize things and they need to seek therapy and things like that because they're not facing their feelings. And, there's a high rate of anorexia in 15-year-olds and adolescents, uh, cutting themselves. There's some really sad statistics out there. So in school, it would be great to teach how to process emotions. I will be teaching my son how to be a gentleman, the best that I possibly can from a woman's perspective. Okay. It's not easy. It is not easy to teach a little boy respect, but I am doing the best I can. And I'm going to teach my daughter to love herself, to respect herself, to demand trust and loyalty and reliability and never doubt or fear herself because she's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And not in a feminist way. She's just she was born kind, she was born um, loved. And although they've had some hardship, they're very resilient. They shock me. They're emotionally intelligent. And I hope they navigate that into their dating.
Yeah.
I hope that they can process their anger because they are angry about some things. And we work together as a team. I say to them, they're very lucky to have me.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, you're so annoying, mum. But I'm there for them 100%. There's nothing more important than my children, and I will drop anything at any time of the day or night for them. And I
Yeah.
want them to know that.
What's the success rate of your clients that you work with, Lauren? So you said that you do work with a lot of the 1%. Um, how has women's standard changed over the years? Because if there aren't a few of these eligible men to go around, what actually happens is you start to see more casual dating. You see
Hook up,
women
hook up
hookup
culture.
culture, yeah. So you start to see a roster of women um, dating the same
Women have
men.
rosters too.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Men have,
Yeah,
they both have rosters, which is, if you just want sex, go for it. As long as it's safe and no one's getting hurt and you're on the same page, no judgment.
yeah,
You do you. Um, my success rate is pretty high. I have beautiful couples walking all over our country. I represent singles in Sydney, Gold Coast, Melbourne, Perth, Brisbane, and a lot of it is private
yeah.
because I have politicians.
As you mentioned, you're talking about hookup culture. Women are happy to share a high status man than settle down with an average
I
guy.
I cannot believe this, but yes, you are right.
Yeah,
Like women don't mind what the guy's doing as long as they're getting things.
yeah,
That is not my style.
yeah,
So I can't comment. That is not part of my business, but I have heard of it. And I do see things. I see a lot of things, a lot of interesting things. I believe in monogamy. I believe in man and woman. I'm very old school. I'm very romantic. I can't comment on anything else because there's not one way for everyone.
Mm,
I believe in I believe in love. And you can't not do this if you don't believe in love. I believe in beautiful courtship, a love story, a fairy tale. I want people to feel it as
yeah,
much as I can in this space
yeah,
with what's going on behind closed doors and what's going on in the real world. I still live in a fairy tale.
yeah. And I think, I mean, I think that we've indoctrinated men and women to thinking this is how love is supposed to be. I think Disney and rom-coms have really misled about what love is supposed to be like. And if you think about,
Love is support, and
yeah,
love is liking the same lifestyle. Love is truly respecting that person, what they do and how they behave. But I love those rom-coms. I love
I
Disney.
do too. Yeah,
I
they do.
really
They make
do.
you feel good.
Oh my God. I watched all of them with my daughter, but I also speak openly about like that's not the real world.
No,
You have to understand like a guy isn't gonna be grab your hair like Rapunzel.
that's right.
He's not gonna do that. But as long as he respects you and your choices and supports you and loves you and cares for you, that's good enough.
Yeah. I think we're also rewarding the bad behavior, Lauren. I think men are subscribing to OnlyFans and
Oh,
paying for porn subscriptions. I think women very much are over sexualizing themselves and using their sexuality to
Bonnie Blue.
monetize. Yeah. Yeah. Sleeping with over 1,000 men.
It's just shocking.
It's
I,
disgusting.
I'm sad that my daughter is going to be exposed that that's a possibility.
Mm,
Like it really is sickening, devastating. I'm trying so hard to be open minded and see it from her point of view. But what happened in her life for her to behave like that? I
mm.
would love to sit down and talk to her. And the way she rationalized it, the way she defends herself, she's warped.
Yeah.
It's warped. It's absolutely warped. Did she watch Disney? Because that's not what it's supposed to
No.
be.
Did you hear about that girl from the Gold Coast that slept with 583 men?
I can't help but laugh. It's cooked.
Yeah. Yeah. I blame the men.
I do.
I really do blame the men. I think
Who
the
are
men,
they?
if the men stopped subscribing and didn't go to that event, none of this shit would exist. The reason why Bonnie Blue is so damn successful is because the men keep subscribing to it.
But who are the guys? Because I don't know those types.
They would be your average man. So it would be the average
Very
man
ugly,
working nine
unattractive,
to
and
five, not very good money, very socially awkward, and that's another thing too. A
a
lot
lot
of
of
guys are
them would
socially
be,
awkward.
yeah, a lot of them would be divorced, very hurt men,
Yeah,
broken men, trying to
yeah.
build their life.
And what about men that are on the spectrum? You know, there's a lot of people that are undiagnosed with certain conditions. You know, some men might be diagnosed. I think more so men are diagnosed on the spectrum than women. So that's another thing as well.
That's another whole thing. That's
Yeah,
another whole thing. I feel for them because we all have needs and wants, and just because they're different, it's difficult.
yeah,
But this whole obsession and escapism and defense mechanisms and coping mechanisms, the drinking, the gambling, the porn, the sex, information, all this stuff. It's just people need to heal and get the help and talk about their feelings and have people that don't judge. And
yeah.
I hope people have those people because I personally am so lucky to have those people. I don't know what I'd do without them.
Mm,
So
yeah,
hopefully there's good support networks and people that can assist.
yeah. And what have you got coming up, Lauren? Have you got any events, workshops? What have you got happening in your world?
I'm just working one on one with clients and trying to make the best matches that I can make. There's a few little things happening, but I can't tell you yet. I
Yeah,
can't tell you. I think people are slowly coming back. I really do. I think they're learning. I think the media is cottoning on that
yeah,
maybe matchmaking is the answer
yeah,
and maybe we're going to go back to old school. I think that that people are really learning, like, wow, these apps have caused
Destroyed.
caused more disconnect and lacked intimacy more than we'd ever imagined. And people are shocked. So they're just getting to a place of acceptance
Mm,
because it's like the apps are dead.
yeah.
We're going to grieve them.
Yeah.
And people are going to look back and go, did I really sit on a computer to find the love of my life? That's warped.
Yeah. I think also that, I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with the passport bros. Do you know what a passport bro is? So a
No, tell me.
passport bro is a man that flees his own country to find more traditional feminine women. So it's men that leave their own country to go to Southeast Asia,
Oh,
Colombia, Thailand, the Philippines to find more traditional feminine women. Um, and you're seeing a lot more of that in America and even Australia. Um, what do you think also that women can do on their part to sort of make the man feel a little bit more at home, stick to those traditional values? Because do you think that some women do forget their role in a relationship?
I think we've fought so long and so hard for equality that women, the dynamics have changed.
Mm,
And I have so many women beg me for a masculine man so they could go into their femininity. And uh, women are acting like girls a lot of the time, unfortunately. And so women are stepping up and taking the masculine role. And there's just this huge shift. It's not what it used to be. Um, but in order to be in your feminine, you need to let go and release and learn when you need to be in your masculine and when you need to be in your feminine. Look, I'm a boss bitch.
mm,
I can be a boss bitch at work. I run a business. I run a home. I'm a survivor. I'm capable. I'm tough. I'm independent. But I'm in a relationship with a very masculine man. So there is a time when I can be in my feminine and he's
yeah,
like, I've got this. Back it down. And that shift works in our dynamic. But in dating, when you're on a date, you don't need to prove yourself and that you're a boss bitch. Guys are going to get scared. Like, just chill. That's not for a
yeah.
first date.
No,
Chill.
yeah,
Be in your feminine, smile, giggle. Don't be stupid and like ditzy. No one
mm,
wants a ditzy girl, but be you. Um, but yeah, we've been tricked. We've been tricked that we need to climb this corporate ladder and we need to make money and we need to be hyper independent. Well, hyper independent is a trauma response. And that's why I learned very clearly because I was there. I was like, I can do everything. I'm superhuman. I'm super mum. I'm super this. Well, I broke down.
yeah,
I'm not superhuman and you can't do everything. And, you can't be here, there, and everywhere. You can do the best that you can.
yeah,
I like being in my femininity in my relationship. I like being driven around. I like being paid for sometimes, and that's okay. I'm not scared to admit it. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
yeah.
Um,
And
but
men,
it takes two to tango.
that's so true. And men don't really find that attractive, Lauren. So if you have a hyper successful masculine man who's dominant, assertive, ambitious, generally they don't want to date themselves. But a lot of women really struggle to be able to switch that off and go back into their femininity. How,
That's the problem, is they're
yeah,
going on the date and they're saying, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. Love me, pick me, choose me. And the guy's like, whoa, you're a lot.
yeah,
And then we're told, don't let a guy dim your light just because you're a lot. And he can't handle a lot. It's like, pick your timing.
yeah,
Work out when you need to be a lot, when you need to step up, and when you need to just chill. Just chill. Like on a date, silence isn't a negative thing.
yeah,
Listen to your guy, let him talk, respond softly, patiently, kindly. That's already in your feminine. You
mm,
don't need to rebut. You don't need to be combative. You don't need to debate. It's a date. It's not
yeah,
an argument. Um, so I would keep first dates very light, very fluffy, very fun. Like have fun, like really have fun. Like what makes you happy, do all those things. So uh there's a big disconnect with this masculine feminine thing and people aren't even understanding what they're saying. I want a feminine I want a masculine man and I want to be in my feminine. They're not in their feminine ever.
No, no,
And men aren't attracted to boss bitches that much.
they're not. No.
They're attracted to entrepreneurial, loving, giving, caring, thoughtful girls that have a great business with a purpose.
Yeah,
They are into girls that are high value, good mothers, caring people. Um, but I don't think they're into like bossy, full on powerful women.
yeah,
The guys that I work with are entrepreneurial. They want someone that knows that they're going to be supported throughout their thing.
yeah.
Some
Like,
women don't like that.
like
That's okay.
no man, Lauren, has ever looked at a degree up on the wall and said, "Oh my God, that's so hot." You know what I mean?
But like, I do have very, very successful men that want to date successful women so they're not used.
That's true.
I get
Yeah,
that. I get that. But it takes time to unveil and reveal what you're capable of. You don't need to tell someone or persuade someone. You don't
mm,
need to convince anyone. You need to love yourself and just be yourself and be happy go lucky. Smile. Guys love smiling. Just smile all the time because you're happy. And that's the most endearing quality. Just be
yeah.
happy.
Do you think a lot of women, Lauren, are confused about what men find attractive?
I think a lot of women are telling me how amazing they are and how much money they have in order to be matched with someone that has maybe money. Um, I think that women are selling themselves a lot. I think they need to just chill on the sales, and like manifest and be a magnet to a positive person. Like positivity is so sexy.
Yeah,
Positivity, like no matter what, and coping mechanisms, like not being a drama queen, not enjoying conflict, not being a bitch. They're sexy.
yeah,
Guys like a bit of a not a tomboy, but like someone that's just like more chilled, like um
yeah,
can talk about politics, can talk about business, can talk about sport. You know, no one really finds high maintenance sexy. Doesn't matter how hot you are. Like if you're a lot of work and shallow and just want to go shopping, it's a bit boring.
yeah. And you're right too. I guess highly ambitious and successful men would want a little bit of intellect, but they would want someone that supports them on their mission.
Every guy says that. I want a guy, and it's reciprocal. They will support that person on their mission too.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, you know, if they want to do charity, they'll do charity together. If they want to run a business, you know, I've got a lot of guys that actually want to go into business with their partner. They
yes,
want, you know, um, bankers with lawyers. That's it. That works. There's all different. There's all different. But no one wants to no one wants to go out with someone that is superficial, waste their time talking about nonsense, um, and not doing much.
yeah,
Not
yeah,
many people want that. Even guys that are gaming, sitting on the couch all day want someone with purpose.
yeah,
They
yeah.
do.
And I
Because I've
think too,
spoken.
Lauren, like a lot of guys would choose a shy, quiet, polite woman
Oh,
that has
yes.
no education as opposed to a rude, obnoxious, successful woman. And guys aren't really attracted to women's status. That's just my personal opinion. I am not really attracted to someone's status. I'm more attracted to who they are as a person. Are they kind?
Ambition.
Are they, yeah?
Ambition.
Are they thoughtful? Would they be supportive? Are they nurturing? Would they be a good mother to my children? Guys don't really find a woman's status attractive. You know, it's not like, oh my God, that really turns me on that she has this, degree. I mean, it can be impressive, but it doesn't.
Oh, you're proud of them for having that
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
work and the dedication that it took to get there.
Proud,
Everyone admires
proud.
that.
Yeah.
That's admiration. And
Admiration, but
that's what
it's
I'm
not.
talking.
Yeah, but it's not like an attractive, like it doesn't make guys sexually aroused, if that makes sense.
I have so many guys that specify that I cannot date someone that doesn't have ambition, you know, and ambition is a big thing, purpose is a big thing, and this is not about money, purpose to give. Like I have guys that say, I'm happy with the girl if she just does like philanthropic work. Philanthropic work is fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, uh, it's not about money again. It's that they have a passion, they have a goal, and they want to do better. They want to do better for themselves in this world. That is sexy. Um, I don't think anyone wants to date someone that's doing nothing. It's just a simple rule.
No, that's right. Yeah, you don't want someone that's just sitting around on their phone all day.
I've got a couple that I've matched, and the guy is super entrepreneurial, super clever, good looking, 40 years old. He's running multi-million dollar businesses, and he used to date someone that was on a very small income, and it bugged him for a little bit. But then it got to a place where she stepped it up and she found some passions and some hobbies, and in turn she was making money from them. So it turned around. So things change. It's not one way forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's about communication. If my guy says to me, I don't like this about you, what can we do to improve it? Or I said to him, this upsets me, can we do better? It's a team effort. That's what relationships are. We must commit to improving each other.
Yeah. Yeah. One last question, Lauren. What is one piece of advice that you think men and women could be doing right now to improve not just their dating, but to live a happier life?
Oh, it depends what makes you happy. So, wow. What can we do to make a better life for ourselves?
Yeah.
Giving. I think giving makes you grateful, helping people less fortunate. I really believe in knowing where you come from and then working out where you want to go and how steps in order to get there. Uh, I'm a big believer in charity. It's not to get anything back, but it makes you feel good. I believe in journaling in the morning. I believe in talking about your feelings. I believe going for big, long walks, surrounding yourself with positive people. There are 6 foundational principles that I work with my health coaching when I was a health coach for 10 years. Can I tell you the 6 principles? So number 1 is thoughts, and that is your mindset. Number 2 is breath. So breath work is so like meditation, like breath work is so important. Third is hydration. So drinking water, getting fluids. 4 is nutrition, eating good food. 5 is exercise, and 6 is sleep. So sleep is so important to our health, and it goes with the circadian rhythms. And that is 6 principles that make a healthy person. Right? I believe that if we worked on all of those things, like our mindset is number 1, before exercise, before hitting the gym, before anything, we have to have a positive mindset in order to get anywhere in life. If you're black and negative, you can't succeed in
Yeah.
any way, not as a mother, not as an employee, not as it doesn't work. So we can create and manifest anything we want through our thoughts, through our beliefs. So it goes with dating as well. Like those 6 principles are related to dating. It's a holistic approach.
I love that, Lauren. No, great advice. Lauren, thank you for jumping on.
Thank
And
you for having me.
where can people find you?
Cinqe.com. So that's Cinque. And I'm part of a global agency, like I said, with 8 matchmakers around the world. We have an amazing network of singles. If you're tired of the dating apps, maybe we have someone for you. I have a free database. I can share that with you.
Amazing. Awesome, Lauren. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.